Hi, Miss Melody. How are you?
Just fine. How about yourself?
Good, good. We're just kind of kicking back here at 3ABN. So, welcome everybody, and
Thinking a new set.
thanks for tuning into 3ABN, the set here on our YouTube channel.
Isn't it beautiful?
Great set, isn't it?
Love it.
These
No,
guys
I love
do
the
good
red
work.
rug.
Yeah.
You know, I had a problem. I love that red rug.
Yeah, they're gonna put it
But
on.
I love this.
You can bid on it. I think it's going to be on
Yeah. I'm in
eBay
ministry.
or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dad, if I'll get that.
You can bid on it and donate it to Melody when you win.
There you go.
That's right. So yeah, what a great job they did in here. So,
I did love it. So
I think I'm looking forward to them building us a set someday. I think they need to
That'd be nice.
take a particular area and build us a new set.
There you go.
Yeah. Might have to plant those seeds. If you're watching, seeds are planted. So, hey, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the chemicals that are in our food supplies and, products like that.
What do you got?
Oh, I got books and books of things. Yeah, I'm just a depth of knowledge. Now, usually when I go through my studies, I always go through and I pick out universities from other countries, and I try to get multiple sources when I'm looking at studies. So sometimes I'll do estimates, other times I'll do an exact from a particular company, that type of thing. The main problems I'm seeing right now is with the sugar substitutes. We've got what?
NutraSweet,
Splenda, Equal, aspartame, yeah. Not to mention any particular names or anything, but sweeteners like those. Yeah, the amazing part is that they are just, doing so much damage to the system, and
avoid them like a plague.
yeah, and I like stevia.
Stevia's not bad. It's an herb. Have you ever tasted stevia grown?
No.
It almost looks like a mint plant.
Yeah.
First time I ever seen it, and I pinched it off. I thought, oh, that's mint, and then I seen the sign that said stevia. It was so sweet.
Wow.
Just like the when it's dry, it was amazing.
And I actually get the 100% pure stevia extract.
Yes.
There's other ones like Truvia and things like that, but they're only like 5 or 10% or something like that. And if you look at the label on Truvia or Stevia, not Stevia, but Splenda, they change the labels. Now the labels say product ingredients may vary. So they don't have to tell you what's in them. They can change the products anytime they want.
Yeah.
And
marketing's a big...
you remember Sweet and Low? With the little caption that said, causes cancer in laboratory animals? They don't have to put that on there anymore. Yeah, take a look at the Sweet and Low packets now. They don't have to tell you that anymore. So I don't know what kind of deal they made with the Food and Drug Administration.
We're just going to have to keep educating them out.
But that's what's happening out there. In fact, now this is Johns Hopkins University, which is a real, world famous.
Yes, a lot of their studies out there are just...
They were basically the first group to come out and specifically state that, and there's page after page, I actually got 5 pages here from the Johns Hopkins University. Sugar substitutes like NutraSweet, Equal, Spoonful, which I don't even know what that is, Spoonful, etc., and aspartame are actually feeding cancer cells. They are fuel for cancer cells.
So is sugar.
And they didn't put that on here. They said a better natural substitute would be Manuka honey or molasses. I'm not sure what that is.
Blackstrap molasses is very good.
But they said that would be the better substitutes rather than the sugar substitutes. But the sugar substitutes are actually fuel for cancer. And they even went on, and I'm talking about the chemicals and the products of our environment chemical-wise, but they said milk causes the body to produce mucus, which cancer cells feed on mucus too. Meat-based diets is something that cancer cells feed on. And so here's Johns Hopkins University, the first university to actually come out and boldly make a statement, from their findings that yes,
you're talking about chemicals
and fuel cancer.
What's in meat now?
Yeah, chemicals.
Chemicals.
Yeah.
What's in their feed?
Chemicals. Yeah.
Okay.
And manure.
And manure. What's in the manure?
Chemicals.
So when it all boils down, it comes to what's in it.
Yeah, and so that's one of the biggest problems, and I think you were talking about back in, what was the 1950s, when they really started using the chemicals in food supplies?
Well, you know, I have celiac disease.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a study on that because I was doing a program for the Thompsonville Church, and I had some people from the Celiac Society coming. And I thought, you know what? I better know a little bit about what I'm talking about, you know?
Yeah.
Which I do, but I would just want to make sure my I's were dotted and my T's were crossed. And so I went out there and did a search on it. And the Mayo Clinic did a study, and they had blood samples from military men.
Oh, really?
From the early 1950s, you know, late 40s and 1950s.
From the Mayo Clinic?
From the Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic done the study. And they were looking to see how many people had allergies to wheat, you know, especially celiac or this wheat, and they couldn't find them. They couldn't even get a percent. It just wasn't registering. So the doctor is like, well, our bodies haven't changed any. We're still humans, and our DNA should be the same. You know, nothing's changed there. So then they ruled it as environmental. So they did a study, and in the late 40s, they were using 2 to 3 hormones in milk, and before the end of the 1950s, they were using 7. And the chemicals with it, it was amazing. So
at the exact same time that those chemicals...
And what is celiac disease? It's an autoimmune disease. Mm-hmm. It's an environmental. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And
let me tell you another little story. Remember, I did a seminar in Washington this past year, and I was right in the heart of wheat country. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know they did wheat in Washington. I'm thinking all these big mountains.
Right.
On the left, the right, north,
plains.
south, east, west. Nothing, as far as you could see, was wheat. And it was one of those years where it was 2 weeks out in harvesting. And we got to talking about the wheat because I had so many wheat farmers there. There was nothing else to do, 1,500 in the community. So I had like 7 wheat farmers in my class. And I told them, I said, you know, I have wheat envy. I can't have wheat. And they said, oh, don't worry, we don't eat it either. And I'm like, oh, are you celiac? They said, no, there's too many chemicals on it. We only buy organic.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Wow.
Just because they know.
Yeah. They know what goes in it. It's kind of sad, Mark.
Yeah, and a lot of the corn's the same way. The soybeans are the same way.
You know, I don't push a lot of organic because I think still the best diet out there is a plant-based diet.
Well, right,
Hands down,
because
the studies are there. But I like to get my corn organic, my tofu organic, my anything with my soybean, because those are normally your genetic modified, which is your what do they use? They're Roundup Ready seed.
Right.
What is Roundup?
Yeah, and that's just another chemical that
Another chemical.
they're dousing the genetically modifieds with. There's 2 different types of genetically modified. There's good ones and bad ones, and we just don't know which is which.
We don't.
There's good genetically modifieds that they do so they don't have to use any pesticides. But then there's the majority of them that they actually make it so they can douse them with pesticides and the product's not going to die. So yeah, it's kind of a sad situation either way. You know, man trying to dominate nature is what is happening out there, and they're not doing a very good job of it.
If you don't have access to the internet, go to the library.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all right there. You can research this.
And I'm even
yourself.
at the same point, don't believe everything you hear on the internet too, because there's so
you have to
much.
really. I like to go to the .orgs.
Yeah.
There are a lot of sites out there that are educational sites that you can go to that have statistics.
Right.
They have studies, double-blind studies that are proof. It's just not he said, she said.
Right, and I try to tell people too. The main thing you have to know how to eat the watermelon and spit out the seeds. Okay, that's what you need to be able to do.
Yes.
And this one right here, in fact, I've got another one. This is an article. This Nancy Markle, who actually went to the World Environment Conference, talking to them about aspartame, NutraSweet, Equal, Spoonful, all these things, and going through all the harmful things that it's doing to the body with MS, and I mean page after page of things that these things are causing. Even with diabetes and with actual proof, and I'll tell you, man, they just literally ignore this type of thing right now. So in fact, I should get this on the websites too.
You should.
If you get a chance, you can click on the websites, go to melodyprettyman.com, Melody, PrettyMan, melodyprettyman.com.